Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to Heart Whispers with Gorge. I'm Sonali, aka Gorge, and if you are listening to this right now, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. This is my very first podcast, so to be honest, I really don't know where this journey will take me. I don't know how many people will listen, how many lives I'll touch, or how long this podcast will continue. What I do know is that today I felt called to speak, not as an expert, not as an educator, not as someone who has all the answers, but simply as a woman, a human being, a soul navigating life one day at a time. And if my story resonates with even one person, then pressing that record button today will have been worth it. So today's whisper is called Starting Over at 39. When we are young, we have this invisible timeline in our heads. By 25, we should have a career. By 30, we should be settled. By 35, we should have achieved certain milestones. And by 40, we should have life all figured out. At least that's what society tells us, right? But life has a very different plan. And sometimes, despite doing everything right, things don't unfold the way we imagine. Sometimes careers change, sometimes relationships test us, sometimes dreams take longer, sometimes we lose people, sometimes we lose ourselves, and sometimes we wake up one morning and realize we are standing at the beginning again. That's where I find myself today. At 39, starting over. Not because I wanted to, but because life gently and sometimes not so gently pushed me here. There have been moments over the past few years when I've questioned myself, moments when I felt scared, moments when I have wondered whether I've missed my chance, whether am I too late, whether everyone else is moving ahead while I'm still trying to figure things out. Maybe you felt that way too, right? Maybe you're listening to this while rebuilding your life. Maybe you've left a job. Maybe you're trying to be a parent. Maybe you're healing from heartbreak. Maybe you're carrying burdens nobody knows about. Or maybe you're simply exhausted from trying to be strong all the time. If that's you, I want you to know, my friend, you're not alone. Because behind every smile is a story. Behind every successful person is uncertainty. And behind every new beginning is season of doubt. What I've learned recently is that starting over doesn't mean you failed. It means you've had the courage to acknowledge that something needs to change. And courage is never easy. It's easy to stay where we are. It's easy to remain comfortable. It's easy to accept unhappiness because it's familiar. But choosing growth, choosing uncertainty, choosing to believe in yourself when nothing around you feels certain, that's courage. And courage deserves respect. At 39, I no longer want to chase perfection. I spent years trying to be perfect. The perfect daughter, the perfect wife, the perfect employee, the perfect friend, the perfect version of myself. And somewhere along the way, I became tired. Because perfection is exhausting. It asks us to hide our struggles, to hide our fears, to hide our humanity. Today, I don't want perfection. I want authenticity. I want peace. I want meaningful relationships. I want purpose. I want mornings where I wake up grateful. I want evenings where I go to bed knowing I stayed true to myself. And perhaps that's what growing older teaches us. Not how to have all the answers, but how to ask better questions. Questions like, what truly matters? What brings me joy? What kind of life do I want to create? Who am I becoming? I've also learned something very beautiful. Life doesn't end when a chapter closes. A new one begins. And often, it's better than the one we were desperately trying to hold on to. Think about nature for a moment. Trees lose their leaves, flowers wilt, seasons change. Yet every year, life begins again. Without fear, without hesitation, without questioning whether it's too late. Nature never asks permission to bloom again. Maybe we shouldn't either. Maybe we're allowed to reinvent ourselves. Maybe we're allowed to dream new dreams. Maybe we're allowed to start over. No matter our age, no matter our circumstances, no matter what else others think of us. Because life isn't a race, and there is no universal timeline. Some people find success at 25, others at 55. Some people find love early, others find it later. Some people become parents quickly, others wait for years. Some journeys are straight roads, others are winding paths. Neither is wrong, they are simply different. And comparison is perhaps one of the biggest thieves of joy. I've spent time comparing myself to others, and I'm sure maybe you have too. But comparison never tells the full story. We compare our behind the scenes with someone else's highlight reel. We compare our struggles with their victories. And doing so, we forget how far we've come. So today, I want to invite you to do something. Pause, take a break, and acknowledge yourself. Acknowledge everything you've survived, everything you've overcome, everything you've carried, everything you've learned, everything you are stronger more than your weakness, because I'm sure you are. You are braver than you realize. And you've made it through 100% of your difficult days so far. That's not a small achievement. That's remarkable. As I begin this new chapter of my life, I don't know exactly what lies ahead. But for the first time in a long time, I feel hopeful. Not because life is perfect, not because everything is figured out, but because I've realized that uncertainty isn't the enemy. Sometimes uncertainty is simply possibility wearing in disguise. And perhaps that's what 39 means for me. Not an ending, not a deadline, not a measure of what I should have accomplished, but an invitation. An invitation to trust myself, to grow, to heal, to dream, and to begin again. And if you are listening today and you're standing at your own crossroads, I hope this reaches to you. I hope you know that it's okay to start over. It's okay to change direction. It's okay to outgrow old versions of yourself. And it's okay to believe that your best days may still be ahead of you. Because sometimes the most beautiful stories begin in the chapters we have never expected to write. So, thank you for spending these moments with me. Thank you for listening to my very first whisper. Until next time, be gentle with yourself, trust yourself, listen to your heart, and never stop believing in new beginnings. This is Gorge signing off, and you've been listening to Heart Whispers with Gorge. Until we meet next time, lots of love. Thank you. Take care.